Okay, ladies, if you would come down here to the front for our lamb service. Carter, if you would hit this white microphone right here. I didn't put the cordless mic on yet. Give me a little bit of fire right there on that. Maybe it'll pick up what we're doing here. Girls, it's good to see you. Well, you danced all last weekend. You completely ruined my whole weekend. I want you to know that.
No. You see what somebody said on the table?
No. Oh, all right. Some braces. Mouth hardware. All right, that's always special. Challenging. All right, I know that that's it's probably not easy. I never had braces, but I have crooked teeth, so there you go. Well, I understand that I didn't know if I would be able to get you to tell us much about this, Addison. I understand that you were selected this week for a very special honor. What can you tell us what that was?
As an ambassador.
You're selected as a special ambassador at your school, weren't you? So that involves you'll get to be like a hostess or a representative at various events and functions, and like Vanna Watt, you'll point at this and that and introduce people and welcome people. Congratulations. I think you had to be interviewed for that, didn't you? And you had to write an essay? All right.
Teachers had to do recommendations also.
All right.
Very good.
Congratulations to you. These girls, and I watched Avery dance. She danced last Friday night, and I watched Harper dance too. She was dancing out there among the crowd. But girls, you both, I did enjoy last weekend. I enjoyed being able to get out. I don't get out in public much anymore, but congratulations to both of you. There were, as always, I don't know all the particulars, but the people who, I'm sure it's not everybody, but there are certainly some very strong influences among the people who do your dance recitals and your dance activities. A lot of the music was Christian music, and a lot of the testimony, especially the gentleman who always does the Master of Ceremonies, he had a very good testimony, and he shared his faith with all of those people who were there. So it was, I enjoyed that. I don't think anybody there, someone maybe who's not a Christian or not a believer, would not have been offended by that. It was not heavy-handed, and yet it was very, I think, very important. Watch television some, cable television, and it seemed like a lot of these sportsman's shows are always about, I saw a show this week where they caught a fish and it looked like it weighed about 300 pounds. It took 5 people to get it into the boat, and it just filled the whole boat. And you know, let me tell you what, when I was a little boy, every Sunday afternoon, all we ever had on I don't remember which network it was on, we had one sportsman show, just one. And it came on every Sunday afternoon, and I watched it frequently, and I enjoyed it. And it wasn't monster fish or alligators that could eat you, or people getting out in the water and reaching up underneath the bank with their hands to pull out these giant fish. It was just people just casting a line and catching fish and saying, "Oh, look, there's a fish," and then they would throw it back. It was really rather kind of tame. But what I remember most is that is the theme song for that show, and it was sung by Louis Armstrong and Bing Crosby. It actually was a song that had been recorded and made famous by Louis Armstrong all by himself. But he and Bing Crosby made a classic recording of it, and you can still hear it on YouTube today. I want to sing, let me tell you this song, because it has to do with a lesson that I'm teaching and preaching about today. Gone fishing, there's a sign upon your door. Gone fishing, you ain't working anymore. There's your hoe out in the sun, where you left a row half done. You claim hoeing ain't no fun. You ain't got no ambition. Gone fishing by a shady, wadey pool. I'm wishing I could be that kind of fool. I'd say no more work for mine. On my door I'd hang a sign, gone fishing instead of just a wishing. Gone fishing, there's a sign upon your door. Gone fishing, you ain't working anymore. Cows need milking in the barn, and you just don't give a darn. Can you say that in church? You never seem to learn. You ain't got no ambition. Gone fishing, got your hound dog by your side. Gone fishing, fleas are biting at his hide. Got my hat and got my pole, headed for that fishing hole. Gone fishing instead of just a wishing. You know, this world is still filled with people who actually fish for a living. That's what they do. That's their occupation, their vocation. But probably most of the people that you and I know just fish for fun. They fish for recreation. They like to go fishing. I remember there was one of my favorite people at the Willie Springs Baptist Church. He was a big bass fisherman, and he had a big bass boat. He took me out in it and scared the life out of me. That thing would go about 90 miles an hour on the water, and we were hardly even touching the water. And I know he was trying to make me cry, and I cried just a little bit. But he would get out there, and he would catch the most wonderful looking bass. You know what he would do with those things? He threw them back in the water. And all I could think of was hush puppies and tartar sauce and french fries. He'd catch those fish and he'd throw them back. And today, fishing, when I was a little boy, we had an uncle, Uncle Bain who used to come, and every once in a while he'd come stay with us. He'd come spend the night. He was my grandmother's brother-in-law actually. Yeah, my grandmother's brother-in-law. And he'd come, and evidently there were some places around here that he liked to go fishing. He'd come specifically to see us, and then he'd go fishing. And Uncle Ben always caught fish. I knew when he came that he was always so much fun and so funny, tell us stories, and he always caught fish. I never came home and said, didn't catch anything. But I remember that a wonderful childhood memory. I remember going fishing with my Uncle J.P. I got pictures of us going and catching fish together. Today we think of fishing as something that someone might do when they're really supposed to be doing something else. You know, he went fishing instead of going to work, or he went fishing instead of taking care of his family, or he went fishing. And really, fishing has gotten a bad rap on that. That's really what that song's about. It's about someone who's deciding that they're just going to quit. They're going to give up. They're not going to do what they ought to be doing. They're going to go fishing. We're going to look today at Jesus' disciples. Instead of kind of running with things after the resurrection, they said, you know what, let's just go fishing. And they did. They did. I hope that throughout your life, you have very busy lives. You're always doing something. But I hope that you get a chance. Your dad's taking you fishing, hasn't he? And I believe I saw y'all doing some fishing on Mother's Day recently down on the Tennessee River. And your Uncle Joe and your dad, I think he had his fishing gear there. I hope you get to go fishing. Some of my greatest memories, I think I probably only went fishing with my dad twice. And I've never forgotten that. I wish we had more memories like that. But there's nothing in the world wrong with going out and catching a few fish, even if you're just going to throw it back. But I hope also, too, that you will discover and find the things that are important in life, especially the things God wants you to do and to be. And I hope you'll do those things no matter what. Okay? Thanks a lot. Thanks for inviting me to go to your various things. And I hope that as your school year winds down, let's see. Addison, will you be going to middle school or high school?
I was in middle school last year.
So you're going to high school this coming year? Are you still going to be in middle school? And Avery, you're graduating this year, aren't you?
Tell him what grade you're going to be in.
What grade are you going to be in?
Third grade.
Third grade. You're going to be in the seventh? Seventh grade. In 1969, I went to the seventh grade at the Hartselle at Morgan County High School. And I was scared to death. I was scared to death. Fortunately, we only did 1 year at the high school. They built a middle school for us, what they call a junior high. We got to go over and be the big kids, the older kids at junior high. But then they sent us back to ninth grade. I was back at the high school again. I know that you're going to face these challenges. Have a good summer, but I look forward to seeing you as well. Thank you for coming down for this. Brother Danny, come and continue to lead us as we sing, and then maybe we'll go fishing ourselves.